Hi, everybody. So, welcome to 2022. It feels like absolutely ages since I've gone live, and it is because between illness pre-Christmas and back in November and then Christmas and everything else, I just haven't been on here. But it's a new year, fresh start, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm back in the live saddle, so to speak. So I thought I'd come on here today and talk about something that generally is happening a lot this week, and that's things like goal setting, intention setting, vision boards. And I'm specifically talking about vision boards today, not for any particular reason other than I've just seen a lot of them lately where people have been spending time creating them a whole day, making them look pretty and beautiful and all of those things. And I just thought I'd come on with my two penneth worth about creating vision boards. So when we come into a new year, and I'm the same, I'm super excited about 2022. I'm pretty glad to have 2021 behind me right now. Give me a little thumbs up or a like if you are the same and you're happy to now be in 2022. I really feel like 2022 could be an amazing year for a lot of us business owners, because 2020 and 2021 have been quite challenging. Even if your business wasn't affected, it's been challenging personally. So it's been a really challenging time. And I really feel like it's about time things settle down, right? And I'm definitely coming into 2022 with a different attitude towards how I'm living my life and my business. And one of the things I mentioned last week in one of my posts is there's a series of things I'm going to stop doing. And one of those is I'm going to stop letting COVID make business decisions for me. I need to make sure that I'm making the right decisions for me and my business. So the things that I plan to do this year are still happening and I will achieve them. So a big part of that is getting clear on the vision, right? And for some people, a great way of doing that is creating a vision board. And I love a vision board. So I'm going to say something that most people wouldn't expect me to say right now. And that is, don't bother doing a vision board unless you do something else too. A vision board on its own is not going to give you the results that you want. Don't spend 2 days creating a wonderful vision board that looks absolutely beautiful and is Instagram worthy if you're not going to put the work in behind it, if you're not going to create the plan and the roadmap and take the time to really craft that too. Because a vision board on its own is just that. It's a vision board. It's not reality. It's not something that you're going to turn into something and achieve if you don't do the other bits as well. And I see this all the time. I see people putting stuff out there saying they want to achieve X, Y, and Z. They've got this on their vision board. That's what I'm looking to achieve. And occasionally stuff happens, and it's as if it's happened by accident. And maybe that's more luck than anything else, because the reality is you've got to do the work. There is no shortcut to getting the work done. There isn't. You know, if you want to achieve a goal or intention or something that's on your vision board, make a plan, take the action, and do it. You will achieve it. So, whilst I absolutely love vision boards, I have a vision board, and I enjoy creating it for the point that it helps give me clarity around the things that I'm already cementing as goals and intentions. As much as I like it, I know that on its own, it's not going to do what it needs to do for me. It's the planning that really makes the big difference for me. It's the roadmap. It's mapping out my activity. What am I going to do and when? How am I going to make it happen? Understanding those things is what's going to make that stuff on my vision board a reality. So if you are at the moment creating your vision board, if you are thinking about your goals, don't stop there. Think about how you're going to achieve them. Don't say to yourself, I'll worry about that later. I'll see what happens. I'll do whatever when it happens. Make a plan. Put some intention behind that. Yeah, make sure that you are undertaking activity that is aligned to what it is that you want to achieve. And the best way of doing that is to plan for it. Now, the wonderful thing about planning is that it is a bit fluid. And that's what I love about planning. And I say this every year. Planning is fluid. And that means that it helps us get to our destination. But if something should crop up along the way, we'll swerve it. Yeah, we'll go over it, we'll go under it, we'll go around it, whatever we need to do. That's what the plan does. But the plan provides us with a framework. Mapping out your activity is a framework in which you can then work within. And that helps keep you on track, keeps you on schedule, make sure that you're always undertaking the important things. When I say I always work on priorities, you might have heard me say that before. This framework helps me identify what those priorities are. I'm not sitting and thinking every single week, oh, what's the priority this week? I already know because I've mapped out what needs to be done and when, so that I can achieve my goals by the end of the year. So vision boards, goals, and intentions are a really important part of mapping out your year, but the rest of it is absolutely essential to make that a reality. So don't stop at goal setting or intention setting or vision boards. Take it that next step. Make sure that you're mapping out. And there's a few things that you really want to be thinking about as you're mapping out and creating a framework for yourself. What needs to be done and when? What are the non-negotiables, the must-do, must-haves? What support might you need through that period of time? And really think broad here. Think about the skill sets that you might need to bring into the business at what time, the resource that you might need to bring in, and the support. And support could come from lots of different ways. It could be an accountability partner. So if you really struggle to stay accountable, look for an accountability partner, look for an accountability group. There are great ways of getting that accountability when you need it. Your support might be more emotional. Yeah, who's going to support you through this journey? Who can you lean on when things get a little bit challenging? What about support groups? Could you join a group of like-minded people? Maybe you could join a program or a mastermind. You know, I happen to have one of those, but you could join a mastermind, a great place to find like-minded people that can support you through that journey. So when you're mapping out your plan of activity and you're mapping out what needs to be done to achieve those goals and that vision board, think of all these things as well. Yeah, what needs to be done and when? What support and resources do I need to bring into the business? What's my non-negotiables? What has to absolutely happen at what stage for something else to happen? And remember, when you're mapping out, break it down. Whatever it is that you've got, there's always a way of breaking it down. So revenue targets are easy, right? If you want to achieve a certain revenue target by the end of the year, work back. What do you need to be at what stage of the year to make that a reality? And we do that with all of the goals and intentions and the visions that we set. We really think about how it needs to be worked to get to that point. So though planning itself is probably the chunkiest bit of the work and one of the most crucial elements, it always surprises me how many small business owners don't invest time and energy in creating a great plan. We focus a lot on setting the goals and setting our intentions and doing these vision boards, but on their own, they won't give us what we need. We need to put the action behind it, which means we need a strong plan to make sure we're always doing the right things at the right time. I definitely see my plan as my framework, as my safety net, so that if things go off kilter or things become a little bit challenging, I can fall back into that plan and find my way and make sure that I'm always on track. You know, momentum with your goals is really important, and a plan helps you chip away and gain progress on each one of those things during the next 12 months, so that you know that you're doing what you need to do. And if a roadblock comes in, if something happens that changes that, and I get that for some people, this is why they don't create a plan. They're like, well, why should I bother creating a plan? Because the world has a different idea. What we do is we adapt the plan. We roll with it, we adapt, we regroup, we refocus, we do what we need to do, and we adjust accordingly to make sure that we still achieve what it is that we need to achieve. If we don't do the plan at all, we might achieve stuff, and I see people do it all the time, but it won't necessarily be the right stuff, and it won't necessarily be at the right time, and it may not be to the level that we really want it to be. So intention, purpose, goals, vision boards, all of these things are absolutely wonderful. Yeah, and I totally get them, and I'm 100% behind them. But if you're not going to create a plan, if you're not going to map out your activity to see how you're actually going to do those things, then don't bother doing them, because you're just wasting your time. You're just creating something pretty to put on your wall. See it as an art project, see it as a craft hour, but it's not adding value to you and your business. What's going to add value to you and your business is taking those goals, taking that vision, and making it real with a plan, mapping out that activity. As you can see, I'm very passionate about that. I always have been about planning, because I think people see planning as a little bit sort of old school, a little bit old fashioned. I don't need a plan. I'm going to go with the flow. My business just evolves. It's going to do this. I've got this vision. I'm setting this intention. All wonderful stuff. But the reality is, those that really achieve the level of success that they want are those that plan for that success. So do the vision, do the goals, but make sure you do the plan. Sneaky little plug, if you are struggling to translate that vision into a plan, because we can have an idea about what it is we want to achieve, we might struggle to determine how we're actually going to do it. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't have the knowledge to do that. I am running a Make 2022 Amazing Mastermind Day on the 14th of January at Y Boston Lakes in Bedfordshire. It's a full day where we're going to be taking those visions, taking those goals, and creating this framework, mapping out our plan. How are we going to do it? What needs to happen and when? Because I feel like this is the bit that most people struggle with. In previous years, I have always ran a goal setting workshop, which has always been really successful and really enjoyable. But I've really recognized that most of those people are not achieving that because of the strength of the plan that sits behind it. So this year, my focus is, yes, we need the right goals, we need the right vision and focus for the business, but we need a great plan. So that's where my focus is. So that day is all about creating that plan. You get a free one-to-one with me to help you cement that plan afterwards. And you also get to join our pop-up support group for a couple of months to help really get you started so that you can kickstart that plan into action. It's so important to have that plan. Shannon, absolutely agree. It's all about getting focused and taking action. It is, yeah. If you want something to happen, you have to make it happen. If it is important enough for you, you will find a way to make that happen. Yeah, it's so important that you take the action. If we sit back and expect things to change, they won't. If we want real change, we take real action. Nicola, the last and only time I did was in January 2020. Needless to say, the additional travel I was hoping for did not happen. No. So sometimes we set our goals and intentions and the world throws us a really big curveball, right? But you know what? We get back to our plan. We find comfort in the plan. We find safety in the plan, and we rethink and we reevaluate and regroup and do what we need to. Sometimes our goals do change because sometimes the influence is so big that it makes what we wanted to originally achieve unavailable to us at that time. But I know that during 2020 and 2021, I found comfort and support in the framework that I built, the plan that I had created. Being able to fall back into something when things went a little bit off kilter was amazing. But hopefully, Nicola, this year you'll be able to set those intentions and goals, have that vision, and make it a reality this year. Just get that strong plan behind it as well. So that's what I wanted to jump on today and just talk about, because I know this is something that a lot of small business owners are looking at this week, maybe next week, as they're coming into January in their business. Just don't forget the importance of having a strong mapped out plan. because a vision on its own is not going to get you to where you need to be. It's the action that matters. Taking purposeful action. Yeah, imperfect action is better than no action at all. So even if you're not 100%, go for it. Take the action that's necessary. That's what's going to make the change. If you want 2022 to be amazing, you have to make it amazing. And it starts with the destination and the journey. And the journey is your plan. That's your roadmap. That's you saying, this is what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. And yes, I'm going to tick off that goal when I get to the end of it. And 2022 will have been amazing. So think about that as you're creating your goals and your intentions, or creating your vision board, however you like to do that. Just don't forget, stick a plan behind it to really make it happen. And if you want some help with it, then join me and some amazing female business owners on the 14th of January at Y Boston Lakes, where we will be doing just that, helping each other identify what's important and how we can do things. A real mastermind of brains, the collective brain of the mastermind. So welcome to 2022. I hope you have an amazing first week back into your businesses. I hope it goes as planned and you get everything that you need to do done. And if you are spending some time working on this, give it the time it deserves. Yeah, don't rush a plan in an hour. Give it the time it deserves, because the plan is very important for your business. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for joining me.